on campus, I guess I would say I represent Young Life, or the majority of people who have some kind of faith basis.
On campus, I represent a sorority woman.
Well, we represent Division I athletes. We are rowers here on the crew team. I'm a rower, she's a coxswain.
I think I have the unique responsibility of representing all African American students here at SDSU.
For me, it's a tremendous blessing to be able to go to state, just to be able to pay for it and be educated.
I most definitely wouldn't be at San Diego State without an athletic scholarship. Athletics is in my blood. My parents were athletes. My mom was a Division I runner.
I am a first-generation college student. My dad is from Mississippi and used the military to kind of escape his life in the South. And my mom is from the Philippines. So for me, it actually means that I can be a symbol to my younger brother. And definitely being, I guess, a beacon of light in his life, that he can make it. That's what college means for me.
I'm a liberal studies major, so I would fight for children and just their education. I love them so much, and just their minds and their physical and emotional well-being means the world to me.
Something that I stand for and would fight for is equality. With that being said, I consider myself a feminist, and the only problem with this word is that there are some negative connotations because people really don't understand what it actually means.
I fight for my own seat in the sense that I try to build this emotional connection and motivational factor to help them when they feel like they can't push themselves anymore. Based off of that, I'm either in that boat or I'm not in that boat. So I, in a sense, fight for me to be with those 8 girls every day.
As cliche as this may sound, I think it's just equity and just freedom of expression.
I guess for me, the pressure comes from living a life that necessarily chooses to not have sex and stuff. And so last year in the dorms, I came in contact with some guys who would make fun of me, and one of them said the words, why don't you take your Bible and go to Jesus Can't Be Virgin? It's just really insulting and hurtful to hear. That is what I hold high in regard in my heart. That's something that I cherish and I keep as something that is precious to me.
You know, like when someone is trying to do homework and you're like, there's too much, I can't do it all. And I'm the one that's supposed to say, okay, calm down, you can.
Except when you're on your deathbed, hurting so bad you want to die and kill yourself.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
10 steps up.
I've often heard from women saying that nothing looks as good as skinny feels, and I just call crap on that because there's a lot of things that look and taste good, and I just feel like maybe it's a SoCal thing or maybe it's an SDSU thing, but sometimes there's a pressure to be skinny or look a certain way or act a certain way.
Your goal weight is to be like 110 normally, and that's just not physically where I'm at. And so I put this pressure, and I feel like other people around me put the pressure to be lighter and to be the smallest person I can be, so that's less weight for rowers to pull around.
Women are so paranoid and they're so insecure that they feel like they're competing with every other girl, when in reality it's like, it's not a competition, it's about like finding your own happiness.
Yeah, body image is definitely an issue for me, and I just think when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you are who you are inside and out, and the heart is really what matters in my opinion. Beauty on the inside reflects a lot on the outside too.
A lot of times it's hard to be proud to be a sorority woman because there's so many negative stereotypes associated with it.
I think the way we hold ourselves, not only at SDSU, but across California, even across the world, there's this major image issue.
I'm prideful, I think more so to be an athlete on campus, because I think that's a huge accomplishment that not a lot of people can say that they were able to do.
This is actually going to make me cry because I would say that I am so proud of them. If you got to talk with the women within African Student Union, you would know that they come from a lot of hard places, and the fact that they're here is so amazing and plays such a vital role within everything that this university represents, working maybe 2-3 jobs to stay here, battling internal issues and don't feel comfortable here, still going to class every single day, the only black women in their classes.
Just look at the attendance of the men's basketball games versus the women's basketball games. The football team and the basketball team walks around campus and everyone's like, you know, like kind of drools over them, and where we're just kind of grinding it out every day. You can be an athlete and think, you know, but the teachers even prefer like those guys athletes and become buddies with them while you're still there.
Because they're seen more of like a celebrity type figure on the university campus.
It's because of things like campus gossip or Facebook or San Diego 12, where girls post pictures of themselves wearing inappropriate clothing and just looking like sluts. For lack of a better word.
I think we are too hard on ourselves as women, and yes, a lot of oppression comes from outside, men, women, everything, but I think a lot of it comes from within too.
I feel most oppressed by women, actually.
The biggest form of oppression I face, and especially within the black community, is from each other. I feel like we spend so much time tearing down our own community that it takes away the importance and the beauty of coming together as one community.
And they basically they lose respect for themselves because, like I said earlier, there's this competition and everyone wants to be the best and to look the best, because a lot of times women are only valued on their looks and all their other amazing qualities are overlooked.
It's a battle. You not only fight physical pain, but you fight your mental strength, because it's more of a mental game, honestly, because you're pushing past your limit every day.
The whole idea of groupthink comes into play in the sense that if everyone is believing it, everyone's hearing it, and everyone's kind of going with it, where do people step in and say, wait, this isn't right, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing, this isn't what we're supposed to be standing for, this isn't what we're supposed to be striving for. Just because someone tells me something's important doesn't mean I find it important.
For some girls, they could care less what other girls think, and it's more about what a guy sees in them and how their worth is found in men and what men believe them to be. But for myself, I would say most of the way I see myself comes from within and from what other girls see in me or think about me.
To me, the media is very brainwashing. It doesn't allow people to question what they're being told.
If we spent more time focusing on the things that unite us, we would be a lot more happy and feel a lot more comfortable within our own skin and feel more receptive of the communities that we're a part of.
If you're gonna stoop to that low level, it's like, why are you even surprised? You know what you're doing. You consciously made that decision to dress that way, to behave that way. Like, I know that a lot of girls come into college, they were prom queens, they were on ASB, they were cheerleaders, they were swimmers, they were like on band, and they just let go of everything they've ever stood for just for attention.
I guess the misconception with Christian girls,
we're stuck up.
We're out there with kayaks. We're paddling around leisurely on the bay when
we don't like sex, or that we never want to have it.
That we're sluts and that we pay for our friends.
Hot season, I sit there and go, yay!
Row.
We hate people who aren't like us.
The mad black woman.
We're weird, we don't talk to people who don't believe the same things as us, that we don't like to wear skirts that are shorter than our knees.
I'm not angry, I'm just speaking my mind.
That we hate gay people, that we hate boys, that we're not attracted to boys, which is totally false.
When people say that I pay for my friends, I'm actually investing in friends. I'm investing in potential career opportunities. I'm investing my time in college, and I'm investing like myself in like being a part of something that really could benefit me, and whatever goes into it always comes back tenfold.
You see very few women within student government positions, and I think sometimes being the only woman within the room when you're in the room discussing a very controversial university issue, there are a lot of eyes looking at you as a woman, and you have to remember, I am not only Channelle McNutt in this room, but I represent every woman that doesn't have the opportunity to sit in this room. And so if this, if she was next to me, what would she be able to bring to this conversation? And I think, that is such a unique role to have.
A woman that inspires me, her name is Charlie Luttrell, and she's actually the Education 200 and Education 300 teacher on campus. She's just mind-blowing. It's a class of mostly girls, a few guys, and she just pours into all her students and gives us special attention and just make sure that we're being grown to be wonderful educators and teachers one day. Whether we want to continue in that field or not, she just makes sure that we're passionate for what we do.
I think hands down my mom is a huge inspiration for me because I am literally doing the same exact steps she did. She was a Division I runner, worked all of her life for it, and she's always taught me if you can be a D1 athlete for 4 years, if you can finish, if you cannot give up, if you cannot quit, you can literally do anything in this world because nothing will be as hard, nothing will be physically as hard as that, nothing will be mentally draining, nothing will force you to manage your time as much as being an athlete.
I know that one day I definitely won't be the one that's running the country, but I know plenty of women that are fully capable and equipped and have a heart to do that.
I do believe that women have the ability to stand by themselves and be without men and be independent without a man, and they can live their lives without a man. Women should be respected and be viewed as equals.
Well, I definitely think there's progress with Title IX. That's a huge step in history, really. And I wouldn't be here without it, and my mom wouldn't be here without it.
The women's water polo team is ranked #5, and the basketball team, the women's basketball team, made it to Sweet 16. So I think it's taking the women's sports to get up to those next levels for people to say, oh, maybe I should go out and support them. Maybe I should start. But again, like she said, that's a tiny step, and it's taken us to be so great for them to notice that in order to want to make those strides.
We want to see more women around this table. We want to have more women involved with this discussion. So you definitely have pressures from men because there's so many things that we think about as women that men don't even grasp or don't even understand.
One group of women I'd love to touch on is the Spice Girls. And I know that sounds really weird and kind of cheesy, like this British pop group from the 90s. Like, what? I've actually listened to the lyrics more carefully, and I kind of have realized that these women were complete feminists. I was inspired by them because actually got to look at every single one, and they basically represented that you can be whoever you want to be. You don't need to give into a role that society says you need to give in and who you need to play. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom when you're older, do it. If it makes you happy, do that. But if you want to be a career woman, you can do that too. If you want to be an athlete, if you're good enough, then do that. If you want to be sexual and be proud of who you are and be sexy without losing self-respect and without giving in to promiscuity, then do that too.
As women, we have, I think, a great amount of potential in this world to make great leaps and bounds in academic fields.
Not being afraid to speak out and not being afraid to stand alone, because a lot of the times the greatest movements start off with one person.